Hello everyone, this is CJ992 and today we're back for the brand new video for the second time today. That's right, you've seen me twice already as we've already uploaded earlier on today welcoming Ben Davies and kicking the tyres to see what we brought in to the football club. Now of course we're here to talk about a phenomenal game of football and a couple of phenomenal performances from the new guys coming in to this team as we're here to talk about Rangers 3. West Ham won. Now, I know it's very, very cheap and I know it's very, very cheeky, but again, I'm just excited, you know what I mean? I'm absolutely buzzing right now that we are edging closer and closer to 55 freaking K. It is almost within reach. Everyone's been killing it lately, hitting that subscribe button, getting the new people to subscribe and all that. So if we can keep that up, the unbelievable 55K dream just may freaking happen. But I know not many are actually interested in that. You just want to get to the football, so let's get into it. Now, because you've already seen this face already today and the fact that it's a pre-season video, we're not going to spend too long actually breaking down the game recap like we normally do for league games and domestic cup competitions. Instead, we're just going to discuss a couple of things that I think we need to talk about as fans based on what we saw from the individual player performances to Giovanni's tweaks and system and where I think we're moving as a team, because there is a lot to unpack from that 3-1 win over West Ham. So let's just dive right in then, shall we? Because the way we lined up the game, there wasn't the changes that maybe a lot of us wanted, because we wanted that start for Rabi, we wanted that start for Lons, but we didn't get that just yet, as only two new signings, or the summer signings, started in this game, and that was Big John Souttar, so congratulations to him, and of course Big Kolak, who is going to be the guy for us up top until Alfredo's back, probably sometime around about October. But it wasn't necessarily the starting 11 that really jumped out to me. It was the way we looked in this game compared to the last couple, because we were much more sharper and there seemed to be a lot more bite in the team, because yes, this was a pre-season game of football, but it wasn't a lacklustre side by side, everyone just get through it and get minutes in the leg. There was a real competitive edge in this game, and that's an indication of where you are. The first two pre-season games are always that kind of boring walk-in football, and then the last two, just before you jump into the season, is when it starts to jump up, and this one certainly didn't disappoint. In fact, it didn't disappoint that much that our man Ryan Kent, who's had a lot of criticism so far in pre-season, started this game off up and just decided to nutmeg Jared Bowen, and honestly, maybe not physically nutmeg anyone else, but for the rest of the game, kind of mentally nutmeg them, because they genuinely couldn't get near the laddie. So anyone who was questioning Ryan Kent's head coming into this season because of two early pre-season games, I think I've been quieting down. Ryan Kent loves it here, he wants it here, and I imagine he was just going to be as important player this season as he has been over the last couple. But I'll be honest with you, it wasn't Ryan Kent that necessarily stood out to me too much in the first 45 minutes, but there was a couple of players. The first one going to be Kolak. I think we got to see what he's able to bring us, that pressing, never die attitude, going after everybody, trying to get stuck in and having a wee bit of football about say. So I like that for Kolak. And I know he kind of nipped in and he maybe should have done better, but the defender ended up injuring himself to stop him. That's how much that defender threw it, Big Kolak. But anyone again who's criticising him saw a wee bit more about the industry side of the game, and he will be a handful for SPFL defenders this season, make no mistake about it. He was up against £50 million centre back this afternoon and was kind of battling in there and thrown about like an empty plastic bag. So I think he's going to be alright, especially when he gets into tune with the players. So Kolak was one that stood out. The next one was Glenn Kamara in the middle of the park, who again is playing in that role that we continue to talk about right here on the channel. It's no a part of the midfield too, it's further forward, it's the number 8, it's the number 10, whatever you call it these days. It's right close, as I'm knocking bottles of water there, it's right close to the striker, and he's the guy that's always a guy in Giovanni's formation. Again, his time at Feyenoord and his short time in China. He tried it last season, but I personally don't think he had the personnel. Now he's trying a couple of things now that he's got other players, and for me Glenn Kamara was really shining in this more advanced role. It's very similar to the role he has for Finland, where he's not really got as much defensive shackles and he's able to twist and turn and be the silky guy that he is. So that's another positive, because we keep talking about a Tillman, a Lawrence and all that can play in the centre attacking midfielder role, even a Alex Lowry, but Glenn Kamara's at there biting and fighting as well to show he's got a wee bit of something in that role as well. So he was very, very impressive in this first half. Spun Declan Rice a couple of times, who's worth 100 million and all that crazy English money that's down there. I thought he was very, very bright and very sharp, but he wasn't the only one, because remember, Barisic scored in his last game. So if you watch Rangers consistently enough, you know exactly what that means. When Barisic does something right, he's good. Ladies and gentlemen, if he starts the game off with a bad pass, oh my God, sub him off 20 minutes into the game, because it's only going to get worse. Barisic is the ultimate confidence player. So everyone been shocked online about how he's performing and how he's been playing in this game. Honestly, doesn't surprise me at all, because he played well versus Blackpool. He got a goal, and that's, again, up here when he's at his best. He's as good as anyone at the left back role. But even in saying that, I'm not taking digs at him or anything like that. I love the fact that he's able to get to this level and everything. I just wish he could stay like that when times get a wee bit tougher, but that's what happens in football sometimes. But I thought he was absolutely standing. First real major opportunity in the game after about 15-20 minutes was a patient passage of play from West Ham as they end up breaking down our defence. I think Antonio spins past John Suter. He goes one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and John McLaughlin, who never makes a save and has never had a moment people criticise and slam him for, steps up massive here with a fantastic 1v1 save. And then not only that, he's then able to react, get up and palm it away before it gets slapped into the back of net from the rebound. Fantastic bit of goalkeeping there, and that was the real moment in the first half, in my opinion, that really could have shaped and altered this game. John McLaughlin was called upon, John McLaughlin answered, and that's going to be big for him. And I think the way the goalies are getting used so far in this pre-season, you can see who's number one, and you can see who's number two. But that's all I really got to say about the opening 45 minutes of the game, people. Again, the best chance did come West Ham's way, but we did have some nice passage of play and wee bits, but we never had enough penetration. We never had enough attacking threat. Something I've unfortunately had to say a lot over the last year, but half-time comes, and we all were thinking, let's be honest, me and thee right now, we were all thinking the same thing. Get Rabi on and get Lawrence on, and by God, it happened, and you could see the difference right away. And I know not a lot of people's excited about Lawrence. I know everyone's really excited about Rabi and everything like that. And when I was talking Lawrence up as much as I was in the preview video, there was a lot of people being very critical of him. But look what he brings to the team, because within the first 5 minutes of being on the park, the ball goes down the right hand side. Rabi with the ridiculous pace that scares defenders into needing to dive in, because Cresswell, if he's up against someone else like an Arfield out on the right, or even a Rebo out on the right, or even a Scott Wright, maybe doesn't dive in there because he doesn't need to dive in there, because he can get back and put a wee bit of pressure on. But because of the pace that's there and the ridiculous threat, Cresswell knows if he doesn't throw everything at this and stop it, he's not stopping Rabi and getting anywhere near him. And Cresswell dives for it, he misses it, it goes down the channel, and Rabi does exactly what he done versus Blackpool. Runs direct and then puts it into the area. And we are in Blackpool game, we had a couple of people standing at the edge of the box. I think Scotty was just standing and left flat-footed. Look what Tom Lawrence's run here. Everyone's talking about the cool, calm finish, and it was glorious. But look at the run that he actually makes. It's so perfectly timed. The finish is calm. He passes it by 3 West Ham defenders and gives the goalie no chance. And that's 1-0 to Rangers. And that's our new signing on the right wing. And that's our new centre attacking mid, slapping the ball into the back of net. And I was ready to start being lyrical about them two. And then the next goal happened. And this goal right here, by the way, is absolutely standing. But there was another player that got brought on alongside Rabi and our boy Tom Lawrence. And that was none other than James Sands, who again was brought in to be a centre-half in this game. And I think that's where you're going to see James Sands play this season. I do expect to see him, because you can see what he brings. And if you look at this goal, you see everything that I think we need to inject in our team. And you can see what Giovanni wants to add into your team. Let's go back to how it all starts, right? Again, give me a minute or two, but I think it's important to see what Gio wants for his Rangers team. The ball goes to John McLaughlin, and normally, if that's McGregor, it maybe gets punted away or kind of gets slowed down. But what McLaughlin does, he takes a touch, he drives forward, he beats Antonio, he beats the trap for West Ham, and that forces them to come out. And then all McLaughlin does is cool and composed, doesn't rush. He picks out James Sands, who takes a good first touch. Nice little pass back. There's a couple wee passes here or there, but again, it's cool, calm and composed. When you have a centre defensive mid in the centre back line, you're going to have ball playing skills and that, and you can see Sands does that. So eventually the ball out from Sands to Tom Lawrence is absolutely glorious. Again, beating the trap and high press from West Ham. And then look at the devastating counter-attack when you've got threat and when you've got attack-minded players. This is how devastating you can be, because Lawrence right away finds Tavernier, who's absolutely on his bike, and then it's a counter-attack for Rangers. And if you watch the goal back, you can see Lawrence screaming, and I mean screaming at Tavernier to give him that fit ball. Tavernier could have maybe went another way if it was another player being silent and just gone there to support, but no, Lawrence wants the ball in and around that area. So Tavernier hears the screams, gives it to him, and then Lawrence, couple wee step overs, gets the defence uneasy, and then just finds Ryan Kent, who arrives and absolutely smashes it with a left peg, people. That's right, we've got players scoring every game now with their weak foot, and that right there is an absolute glorious football. That's modern day football at its absolute best. That goal there starts with your goalkeeper, and that goal only starts, or happens I should say, because McLaughlin, who is so good with the ball at his feet, is there to take charge of the hang, slow it down and get us playing. That goal there, pre-season or no, people, is football at its absolute freaking peak, man. And aye, long may that continue. You can see why Gio's bringing in ball playing defenders. You can see why he's playing James Sands at the left centre back role. He wants players that can play football in every area of the park to spring attacks like that, especially now we've got the threat of Arabi and a Lawrence helping the striker in Kent out. So if you're keeping score at home, by the way, that's Tom Lawrence with a goal and an assist in the space of 2 minutes. And some people were laughing and mocking me online for being excited about bringing the laddie into this football club. Nah. That guy is a football player. Get shining the Ballon d'Or ready for Mr. Lawrence. And speaking of ready, oh my, it only got better. It's just somehow only got better. And again, it's fantastic football from Rangers. This time, Tavernier heavily involved in the game. Lawrence starts to move off, I believe. We've given it over to Tavernier. Combines very well. He passes it back into Tom Lawrence, who, yes, does get lucky with his flick here. But again, he's still gambled and he's met the ball perfectly. It falls to Rabi. And what did we sit here and say? Me and Lee. What did we talk about in Rabi's player profile video? This guy isn't a turnaround, pass it sideways merchant, pass it back out. This guy wants goals. He's so attack minded that he gets a scuffed pass and his first instinct's to shift it out his feet and just rattle it. And you know what happens when you shoot? You can score freaking goals, and by God, is it glorious to see goals in this Rangers team now. And again, this is only the start. I know it's pre-season, but you can only reflect on what you've seen. And what I've seen is every single thing we've been lacking when we've been starting a Scotty Wright and starting a Scotty Arfield. This for me is a significant jump up in quality and real attacking threat. And aye, that's 3-0. Game, set and match within 10-15 minutes of these new laddies getting brought in. So anyone questioning the summer signings, it's been answered. The way they score, by the way, is forcing John McLaughlin into another fantastic save, low into the left-hand side, as he just gets his paw on it and flicks it just wide. And I'm going, well done, John, you deserve that save. You deserve a clean sheet. By the time that thought's left my mind, there's a wee nudge on him. Is that a foul on the goalkeeper? I see a lot of people complaining. I don't know, no really for me. For me, it's just another terribly defended set piece, and that is my worry. I'm talking positives for pre-season, but we're conceding goals again for set pieces. It's the only area we seem to know a work through. Now, we did look better when Kolak was on, because he got his header to some of them, and I know we've made some changes and brought in some shorter players, etc, but just put someone on the post, please. Just, if anyone's watching, has got anything to do with football, somebody needs to knock the first domino down. Put somebody back on the post, because whoever told every football club in the world that taking a man off the post is better defensively because his stats and analytics has took the pure mickey out of football and absolutely ruined it, because I just didn't understand how many goals we continue to throw away, where the season we went undefeated and conceded just 13 league goals in that season. How many did we stop on the line because of Davis sitting on it? Exactly. It's infuriating people. So that's my negative. Still, defensively, we look far too weak. And the mixture between zonal and man marking, I don't know, it's just daft, especially when you've not got someone on the post that's inviting teams. But even in everything I'm saying right now, because that's more of an overall picture, West Ham are phenomenal at set pieces, one of the best teams in England. Cresswell, Bowen, they can all cross the ball and everything like that, right? So I'm not being overly critical, but I just think it's worrying when you see the Sunderland goal, you see this one here. It's the same mistake. For me, it's avoidable. If you just put someone on the frickin' posts. But aye, that's all really good to say about the game of football. That was a couple of players that stood out to me. I thought Suter was very good as well, very committed, had a couple of good headers. Again, he got spun once by Antonio, but that guy's on a ridiculous amount of money, and for a team that finished 7th or 6th, whatever it was, in the Premier League, they're a no bad outfit, so you can take that and everything like that. I thought he was good, and again, there was good performances all over the park, but the real standouts for me were the new boys that went into that team. And again, Ryan Kent just got freed up because there was threat. And that's exactly all we've been talking about right here on the channel. So that's what I saw, ladies and gentlemen. What about you? Let me know down in the comment section below. What do you think about the new boys? Are you a wee bit more warmed up to our Tom Lawrence? Because I know not many of you were very, very excited. And trust me, he's told me that in the comment section and tweets and everything like that. But how do you feel now, given what you've seen there? And we move full speed ahead now into the Spurs game, which will be our last pre-season game before the season kicks off. But until then, I've been Sage Over 92. Take care of yourselves, everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.